Hello my friends, in today's tutorial I am going to show you how to create better vignettes like this, where you're using Luminosity Mask to protect the shadows from your vignette so you don't end up overdarkening them and losing details. So how do we create such a vignette that it's so complex and yet so easy to make? Let's start from the beginning. I am going to delete this adjustment, and this is the image we will work with. First thing I want to do, I do want to add a little bit of contrast to this image, so I will just create an slight S-curve, something like that. Now let's go to that vignette. To create this vignette, I will use the TK8 panel. So I will go into my TK8 panel, and right here where I have my actions into the menu, I will just run the vignette action. And they will create a vignette automatically, and here you have the option of applying a Gaussian blur to the vignette so it's not a harsh transition, and I will just keep the default as it comes with 401 pixels, and I will say OK. And now we just have a standard vignette on our image. If you look at the mask, it looks just like that. So nothing fancy so far. How do we modify this vignette? Well, here are the steps we need to do. With this layer selected, where I have my vignette, I will go into my channel source. I have to go over here to TK masking, and this is my channel source, and I'll click on that person looking button, and here comes a dialog that says layer mask. Click on this, and this will load our layer mask that we did. So far we have the same mask we have before. Now what we need to do, we need to subtract the luminosity mask of the darks out of this vignette, so we only darken the lighter parts within this mask. So to do so, now we have to go into the calculator and then click on the minus because we want to subtract. After we click the minus button, go here and X out of this calculator, and then we'll just go into our luminosity masks and see which one of the darks we want to subtract from that vignette. So usually you will find that it's either dark 3s or 4s. So for this one, I will just use the darks, I'll use the 4s. So once you choose which one you want to subtract, all you have to do is click on the equal. And just like that, we have this great looking mask that we are protecting the darks and we are not over darkening them. And then in order to apply it to your layer, you have to click on this button over here that is on the left side of your calculator. So just click on that one. And now this vignette is replaced with our fancy vignette. We are protecting the blacks. So we're only really darkening the lighter parts of this vignette, and we're leaving the darks the way they were. And that way we are not losing any details into the darks, and we create a way more natural looking, a better looking vignette. And this is my preferred way of applying vignettes to my images. To recap, we will do one more example. We'll do this image over here, but before we get into this, I just want to tell you that if you're new to TK8, this is a great plugin, and I do use it all the time. It could be very complex, but if you're intimidated by that, just know that you don't need to know all the functions of it. All you need to know is that you can go on this luminosity mask, and over here you have your lights luminosity masks, and it's really easy to create a mask. Then you have your darks, and then of course the midtones, and really if you just use this function over here, that's totally worth it to buy the plugin. You don't need to know anything else. Then in time you can slowly learn more functions of it, but for the beginning this is all you need to know, so that makes it really easy. Now let's go and create this complex vignette into this image over here. Just like before, we have to go into our actions and apply the vignette action. I will accept the default blur, and now that we have this vignette, we need to go into our channel over here, the person, and load the layer mask. Then of course we have to go to our calculators as to subtract our dark luminosity mask. So click on the minus, and then we need to get out of this panel. This is where a lot of people get confused. They just go and click on one of these dark ones, but you have to get out of this one and then go into your luminosity mask. And here choose which darks you want to subtract. And for this one, I will go with force again. Once I clicked on this force, I will just go to equal. And now here is our fancy mask where we are protecting all the dark tones so we don't over darken them. And click on this button that is on the left side of your calculator to apply it to your layer. And just like that, now if I go option and click on the mask, we can see exactly what it looks like. And this creates a beautiful, natural looking vignette. And I really like the look of it. I hope you learned something new and this was not too confusing for you. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Skyler Ewing. I will see you in my next video.